In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental.
It's crazy to say, but Nicki Minaj has been a target again at her own home. The news just broke out about this man that decided to trespass onto her property.
So when the rappers say these that you've been doing these things to them, they're crazy and they're this and they're that.
Because what Nicki Minaj is alluding to with Roc Nation, I have seen disturbing patterns and trends as well. I've seen that they use bully tactics to silence people.
The situation surrounding Nicki Minaj is getting increasingly alarming, and the reason most mainstream outlets are not covering it comes down to one thing: politics. After Nicki aligned herself with a controversial political side, the industry effectively turned its back on her. But this story has nothing to do with left or right. This is about Nicki allegedly being targeted by Jay-Z and Roc Nation in a deliberate effort to stop her from exposing their dark secrets and questionable business dealings. Nicki has already been swatted multiple times. Police have shown up at her home with weapons drawn. Someone even filed a false report claiming she was mistreating her son. And then there was the death of her father, struck and killed in a hit-and-run in Long Island in 2021. The driver responsible received just 1 year in prison. 1 year for killing an elderly man and then fleeing the scene without even calling for help. You do not have to be a Nicki fan to look at all of this and recognize a pattern. As comedian Katt Williams has said many times, in the entertainment business, nothing is accidental. Everything is planned. And whenever a scandal or tragedy hits, someone higher up is always pulling the strings.
I'm saying that everything that happens in a business that's based off of pretend, that seems like a setup, is. In business, nothing is coincidental, or you would be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up. So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do.
Katt Williams has publicly supported Nicki on at least one major issue: his concern about the push to allow very young children to undergo gender reassignment surgery, something Nicki has also spoken out against strongly. Katt has gone even further, suggesting this trend in Hollywood is not organic, but part of a deeper initiation culture within the industry. And just like Nicki, Katt has been repeatedly arrested on various charges, yet never actually convicted, because nothing ever stuck. They also tried to take his children away from him. Both of them have been publicly labeled unstable, unhinged, and accused of substance abuse.
I personally don't have an issue with the trans part of the LGBT at all. I am the biggest advocate for adults being able to do whatever the heck they want to do. They're adults. I don't care. I only mentioned something because when it comes to children, I wouldn't even allow my 17-year-old daughter to get breast implants. Neither, and most 99% of the parents would not let their 17-year-old get breast implants. So if you wouldn't let a child get breast implants, you're not going to want them to have any kind of surgery, because we all know the brain is not developed. And we've heard about 19 times more likely to commit suicide. What more do you need to know? That a child is 19 times more likely to commit suicide if they have a surgery?
On April 1st, a man named Leland Adams was arrested at Nicki's property in Calabasas after security cameras caught him walking around inside her yard. Not near the gate, not on the sidewalk, but physically inside the property. Security told him to leave. He refused. They detained him and held him until sheriff's deputies arrived. What makes this even more disturbing is that the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department confirmed this was not Adams' first incident in the area. He had been arrested just 5 days earlier and then released, and almost immediately showed up at Nicki's home. This also happened on the exact same day Nicki was scheduled to drop her new album. And according to Nicki, all of this stems from her ongoing battle with Roc Nation. This is not just a music industry dispute. It goes back years, and it starts with money. Nicki has publicly claimed that Jay-Z still owes her somewhere between $100 and $200 million from a past deal, and that ever since she started speaking out about Roc Nation's financial practices, the attacks on her have only gotten worse.
Years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender.
The pattern of incidents against Nicki is deeply troubling. In June 2023, someone falsely reported to Child Protective Services that her son was being mistreated. Police swarmed her home while she and her child were inside. Just weeks later, someone called 911 and reported a fake shooting at her house. Officers arrived again. Then in April 2025, someone called the sheriff's business line directly and claimed a black woman had been spotted on her property. 20 officers with drawn weapons surrounded her home while she was inside with her toddler. After that, Nicki stopped holding back. She began naming names and pointed directly at Desiree Perez, the CEO of Roc Nation and Jay-Z's top executive. Dame Dash has also spoken openly about Desiree, saying that learning Jay-Z hired a federal informant to run his company completely changed how he saw Jay-Z's operation. He noted that several of his own associates, including Rockefeller co-founder Kareem Biggs Burke, ended up in serious trouble with federal agencies, while Jay-Z's chosen executive had a quiet deal with the government all along.
This is the one time that the paper did scare me, and I was like, there has to be some truth to it, is when I read about his affiliation with, informants, that he's in business with certain people. And it's tricky for me to say, but just based on where I'm from, I can't have nothing to do with that. And then just based on...
Do you believe that though?
I don't know, it's paperwork.
Yeah.
So it's not to believe, you know what I'm saying? There's paperwork, so that part of it scares me, because I know Biggs is in jail. I know Irv Gotti's been harassed for years over shit he didn't do. I know they've been fucking with me for years. So it just means I need to stay over here. You know what I'm saying? So I love Jay, but let's say I find out that any of that shit, I can't fuck with him at all, because that's how I was raised. It ain't no disrespect. I don't know how anyone else was raised. That's it. It ain't nothing to talk about. And it's real serious for me, because your friend, my man's in jail for 3 years over weed. The feds is really on me. It's not like they not. And where I'm from, that is not tolerated at all.
In 1994, Desiree Perez was arrested for possession of 35 kilograms of cocaine and conspiracy to distribute, part of a criminal network stretching from New York to Florida to Puerto Rico, according to federal court records. Her husband, one OG Perez, was also allegedly involved in the same operation. One happened to be a longtime friend of Jay-Z. The two had known each other since the mid-1990s and later co-founded the 40/40 Club together. Jay-Z eventually appointed one as president of Roc Nation Sports. As for Desiree, she avoided prison by agreeing to cooperate with federal prosecutors. She wore a wire and helped the government take down her co-conspirators. The government referred to her as their star informant. Then in 2021, she received a full pardon from President Trump. Nicki did not let any of that go unnoticed. She went on X and pointed out directly that the same people attacking her for supporting Trump have no problem celebrating Jay-Z, whose company is run by a woman who was pardoned by Trump and who cooperated with federal authorities for years. She argued that people are being selectively outraged, and that both Jay-Z and Desiree have benefited from the very political connections they publicly pretend to oppose. Nicki also explicitly accused Desiree Perez and Roc Nation of being behind the entire swatting campaign against her, claiming the goal is to make her appear unstable and paranoid so that nobody will take her seriously when she says they owe her money. Both Nicki and Katt Williams have been called crazy every time they speak honestly about how this industry really works. Both have been targeted through false reports. Both have had attempts made to take their children away, and yet neither has ever been convicted of anything, because there was never anything real to convict them of. Whether you believe all of this is connected is your choice. But at some point, the number of coincidences stops being coincidental. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned for the next video.